Guys, so I actually was making a video and then I decided not to make it. So I decided that I'm gonna talk about something else. All right, let's see. This is literally just coming off my noggin. I'm literally trying to think about right now what story I can give you guys for Talk to You Tuesday. Like, I am just like, some stories are just really hard for me to talk about. Some, it's like, I don't know what to say. It's like, and some, like, once I make the video, I'm like, okay, that's too much. It's too personal. It's too nitty gritty. So I'm like, what story can I tell you guys? Okay. So I'll tell you guys about this time where I got beat up, right? In third grade, I had a best friend named Bramlin, and we used to play around a lot and have a good time. I went to a private school called La Rochelle Academy in Houston, Texas, and it was such a wonderful school. It was really ghetto, actually. It was really ghetto. All you had to do was wear uniforms, and it was, small classes, like 10 students per grade level. So it's like first grade had 10 kids, second grade had 10 kids, third grade had 10 kids. My mom and stepdad said they paid a lot for it. I'm not exactly sure. I'm assuming that every single semester or every year. I'm not sure, but I do remember them being in the principal's office a couple times, I think, paying tuition. So I don't remember the tuition, but it had to have been a good amount for them to, be able to, I don't know. So anyways, so I went to a school called La Rochelle Academy, and I remember one day I went to the playground with my friend Brown, like any other day, and we were playing around, playing, having a good old time, running, chasing each other, playing tag or whatever. So it was a really hot summer. I do remember that much. And I remember that there was one line to the water fountain, just one line. And we all were like, people were like standing in line, like just really pissed off and tired because they were out at recess. Everyone from first grade to fifth grade went out to recess at a certain time. We all had lunch at a certain time. They had all the grades together, and because the reason why is because the school was so small, it was just 10 kids per class, per grade level. Actually, it was the first grade, the kinder, the pre-K is all 10 people per grade, or 10 students per class. So anyways, long story short is what was I saying? Oh yeah. So one day I'm just playing with Brandon. We're playing tag, and everybody's in that water line. And I remember we kind of were just playing, ducking and dodging through there, just laughing, hee haw. So there was an instance where there was this guy. I don't even remember his name actually, which I would think I'd remember his name because it's a pretty traumatic experience. There was this guy standing in line. He was a fifth grader. I was a third grader at the time. And I didn't really know him much, but I was running through the line, running in and out of the line, and I bumped into him really bad. Just kind of glazed him, I was running after my friend. So my friend goes in line and I go through, but I think I actually hit him, and I didn't apologize or anything. But of course, I was third grade. I didn't really realize I hit him. I didn't think nothing of it. It wasn't a big deal. And he was very angry, and he was standing in the line to get water. So next thing I know, he pins me up against the wall by the it was in the cafeteria area, and he picks me up and he pins me up against the wall, and he starts punching me. Like, he punched me, like he shut the fuck up, chill the fuck out, da 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 da, and just like cussed me out and just like went crazy on me. And it was because I'm assuming that I ran into him, but I remember being in pain. I remember my chest hurting, my stomach hurting, and my friend Brandon's seen it too. Like, she's seen him do this, and we just sat there, and I cried. I started crying, like, like I was in tears. I remember like just crying and being like so sad and not knowing what to do. He was so much bigger than me. Third grade, I was like 3 feet. Like, I've always been a very short person. And he had to been like, maybe he probably was 5 feet at that time. I mean, kids are big at that time. And he punched me, and my friend seen it, and she didn't say anything about it. And so I'm crying hysterically, and I'm walking to class, and I'm crying. And he's like, and you better not tell nobody what happened, or I'm gonna da 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 da. You know, he just like really scared me. And it was pretty traumatic. Like, you know, when you're a little kid and a bigger kid from a bigger grade beats you up, your friend sees it, y'all walk back to class crying, and he's like screaming at you and yelling at you, telling you you better not tell anybody. I went into class and I just remember like trying hard not to cry, you know. And I think my teacher might have asked me like, you know, like what's wrong or whatever. And I was just like, oh, nothing, I'm fine. You know, I just like my chest hurts or something. Like I didn't tell because he said don't tell. Everyone in 5th grade bullied me. Like I was a 3rd grader, I was a new student, and for some reason, like everyone, the 5th grade class is like 10 people, so I'm sure they all knew what was going on, and everyone in that class really bullied me. Like there was him, and he did that. He literally abused me and then threatened to hurt me if I told anyone, and I kept it a secret. Like actually, this is the first time I'm even talking about it. Like no one ever knew this. And then also like there was this girl, and she was so much bigger than me and fat, and she would just always get in my face and be screaming at me like at the top of her lungs, like, what the fuck are you looking at? Like, what the fuck is your problem? You need to calm the fuck down. Like, everyone was so mean to me in 5th grade. Like, the 5th graders were so mean to me when I went to La Rochelle Academy. I never went back to that school again, thank God. But I only had my friend Branlin and Valencia, and I really don't know, like, to this day, like, why they were so mean to me. Like, they were so mean. They were hitting me, they were screaming at me, and I think teachers even seen them screaming and hitting on me, and no one ever said anything. They just let these kids just yell at me at the top of their lungs and hit me and punch me. And what the teacher never seen one punch me, but they seen them yelling at me and screaming at me, and the teachers never said anything. Maybe at that time, like the only thing that I could really think of is I do know in 3rd grade, like I just thought it was so funny to just like say whatever and then run out the classroom and have the teacher running after me, because it was just so funny. She would run after me, and her boobs were so big and they were just jiggling and everyone did it. So I would just like pretty much do the same thing to get in trouble. But the teachers were so mean, and there was this guy that actually was in the classroom with me, and he was so mean to me. He was always like, oh, Shantora, look at that bird go flying or whatever. And he literally like he pushed my chair, like my whole desk, and it fell over and my desk fell. And I don't recall him getting in trouble for that. Like I'm thinking here now, and I'm like, this school needs to be reported. La Rochelle Academy is not a good school. Like, why was that going on? You know what I mean? And for some reason, I just accepted. And I think the reason why I accepted it was because I was also in a semi-abusive household. My stepdad was always screaming at me, always yelling at me, always hitting me, always choking me and stuff like that. So I think that when I end up going to that school, it's like, you know, it was like familiar, you know what I mean? Like those actions were familiar to me. Like dealing with stuff like that was familiar to me, to where I accepted just anything because I didn't know any better. I didn't know that that wasn't okay, but that's what happened. And that school's just like not okay. Like everyone's so mean to me. Like I'm literally trying to figure it out. What I think it could have been that I was like the white girl. Like everyone always used to, like they were all really ghetto and street and hood and talked a certain way. And I was always really polite and really white girlish. Like when I talked, I was like, oh my God, yeah. I'm still like that, so whatever. But yeah, they really picked on me like really bad, you know? And there was even this time, it's a whole nother story about Bloody Mary. But I will tell you about it, and it happened at this school as well. So I'll actually talk about that maybe in the next video. But oh my God, you guys, like if you experience things like this as a child, as an adult, anything, don't ever think that things like that are okay. Like now, when I look back on it, I would never let someone do that to my child, or anything. I would never let someone just mistreat her or mistreat me or anything like that. So the fact that I put up with that so long ago, it just shows how freaking fucked up I was in the head, where I thought that things like this was okay. So just an FYI, things like that is not okay. And if you need help, guidance, you can email me in the description box below. But like, don't accept things like that. Don't let people put their hands on you for no reason. Don't let people yell at you. Don't let people bully you. I was bullied for sure. And I wasn't ugly. I wasn't mean. But when I went to that school, I was bullied tremendously by the Black community. And you know, I mean, I don't know if maybe that's why, like, you know, I'm very selective on my friends, but like, damn, I went through some shit and it wasn't cool, you know? So always seek help, you know what I mean? Always seek help, you know what I mean? If there's not help in your household, speak to a teacher, speak to a counselor, speak to somebody. Like, somebody's eventually someone's going to listen, someone's going to react. Call the police. I mean, hell, if you know, if it's that bad, if it's in your household, at your school, call the police, report this stuff. Don't let people do what they want to do. Like, these people are probably, I don't even know what they're going through right now in life, but I can assure you that you reap what you sow. So somebody, maybe all those kids are abused, you know, in their households, and that's why they thought it was okay to abuse other people. Because think about it, we're in 3rd and 5th grade, so we're not very old, you know what I mean? So these kids probably had abuse going on in their own households, or whatever the case, where they felt like, oh, this is an easy person to abuse because she's so sweet and so nice, or whatever the case, you know? So yeah. Wow, it just made me really think about that story just now. Like, no one knows this shit. Like, the shit I went through, like, in school, it's like, I just didn't have a great upbringing. Like, I can say that I was very blessed in a lot of ways, but then I had a lot of shit happen to me, like, that didn't need to happen, you know what I mean? And I should have spoken up. I should have said something. So that's the end of our Talk Tea Tuesday. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye.